Shabbat shalom. Thank you. How we treat each other matters, right? Whether we go out of our way to be kind to one another, right, can have an effect on how we feel in any given day, at any given time, right? And if we are not kind to one another, right, that can have an effect on us as a society as well, right? And we've been dealing a lot over the last many years where I could give example after example where we are not treating each other so kindly in our general society, right? I think most of you would probably agree with this, particularly, of course, on social media, where it's really bad, but I've seen personal interactions that go awry as well. In our Torah portion this morning, Parashat Behar Bechukotai, it's a double portion. In both parshas that we read this morning, they both focus on how it is that we treat one another in our world. Right? So Parshat Behar begins, and it tells us all about how we need to have the Shemitah, right? The sabbatical year for how we farm our land. Right? And it tells us that we need to be respectful of our earth, right? Respectful of our land. So it's not just how we treat each other as human beings, it's how we treat the world around us, right? How we treat the earth. Because if we don't treat the earth with respect, right, then it won't be here for us to live on, right? I understand I'm probably preaching to the choir with this, right? But how we treat each other, right, goes beyond just human interactions, but it's all of our interactions, right? And we're told, right, we've got to let the land rest once every 7 years so that we can make sure that we have enough crops, because then the land will replenish itself, right? And we use this, of course, in our own world today, where now people take sabbaticals, right, in our professions, and we're grateful Cantor Nathanson's on sabbatical right now, right? She could have given a whole Devar Torah herself about it. But then, right, it transitions from the Parshat of Behar with the sabbatical of the land to Bechukotai. And in Bechukotai, we get this long list of what's called the Tochacha. It's all of these curses that will happen to us if we don't treat each other well, right? In our society, if you do things wrong, we're going to be cursed. And it's not going to end very well, is what the Parsha tells us. But then it ends with a small series of blessings, a lot shorter than the series of curses, right? But a small series of blessings where we're told if we just are kind to each other, right? If we just take a step back and remember that we are actually human beings, right, that we actually are each a person, right, that we should be respectful of, that God will bless us, and we'll have blessings in our world in general. And so my challenge for us on this Shabbat morning and in general is take a step back. We are entitled to have disagreements with one another, right? That's the nature of who we are as Jews, as human beings, but we have to do so respectfully. We have to take a step back and remember that we are each human beings, right? That we each are part of God's people who are here on earth. And so if we take that step back, right, and we remember to just be respectful of one another, we can still, right, I'm not telling you not to disagree, but do so respectfully. If we can just take that step back and start one little small step at a time, we can find more blessings in our world, and we can feel better about ourselves, and then how we treat each other in our society will continue to matter as well. So my hope and prayer is that we aim and strive to do that, and I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat.